I do think joy is the answer. It has never been on the top of my mind as that, but as I've been thinking about you and your work and participating today and preparing for today too, and really thinking about how I feel about joy and what joy is, I realize that it is a very important part of my day and it should be a very, very important part of my life. And it should be one of those constant things we do day in and day out more than once a day to keep us on the right path. I'm Cindy Tschosik, and we're in Chicago, Illinois. And what brought me to the chair of joy today is Cheryl Lynn. Cheryl Lynn has been quite a inspiration in our Thought Council group, and I'm just so excited to support her movement. And I love the idea of sharing joy with each other and other people so that they can understand it and find it within themselves so that they can live a joyful life. As a ghostwriter and speaker, uh, I work with people to help them share their stories of their journeys to mental wellness and also work with professionals to share mental health issues and disease and wellness along with alternative therapies. And it's important for me to show up with joy when I work with people because this is such a deep topic. It's very private, it's very sensitive, and they are very courageous to share this with the world through writing their books. And so when I show up with joy, they are more at ease. I have opportunities to bring humor into it when it's appropriate and also just continue to make them comfortable so that they can feel comfortable sharing it. I really do not live in a state of toxic fear. I really work hard to avoid that because if I don't, then I get caught up in my mental health issues and I'm not able to function. I'm not able to be my best, and I certainly cannot find my joy. So I had to learn to turn the news off. So I don't watch the news. I always stay positive as much as I can, and I very rarely get um, fearful or sad or angry because I try to stay in a positive spirit. What I would say to people who struggle with toxic fear, the first thing is to identify what is making you afraid. If it's the news, if you feel like bouts of anxiety or sadness or anger when you're watching the news, then cut it out. And that goes with other things, right? I know we have to stay, and that's hard to say because I know we have to stay informed, but when it's informed and you're looking to get all the details all the time, you actually can choose which details you need to know for your own health and well being, and which details you really don't need. And with current conditions, within 6 weeks, I learned that the news was a detriment to my day and my week. So I turned it off and I stayed away from it. And now I just kind of go back every now and again when I need to know like what the highlights are. Uh, Gosh, I it actually was last week. I was presenting to over 100 authors on a co host show for NSA authors, and I was co-hosting actually with Jeff Hazlett and Pat Iyer, and we were just sharing our knowledge and experience about writing our books and all the phases that it takes to write a book. And afterwards, I felt joy, absolute pure internal joy because we were getting so many responses about how helpful it was and that it really helped people, get a broader perspective and a better understanding of what they need to do to write their book. So for me, joy is an intrinsic, um, internal feeling deep in the soul. And I find when I'm doing things for altruism, uh, purposes or altruistic purposes, that's where I find my deepest joy. That's when I'm most happy with and can feel that joy. Because joy is really different than happiness. It's a deeper level of feeling, I feel within my soul, where happiness is sort of more surface area. Joy is really down deep, and when you feel it, there's this powerful energy and more exuberance than you get when you're just happy, or feel great happiness. So when I reach that place and I feel that excitement and joy, that's when I know I'm in that pure joy state. And there's nothing like it. There really isn't. And that's why I love being here with the Chair of Joy and believe in what you, Sherilyn, are doing, for the world. Just one city at a time right now, But it really, since I met you, I really have thought about it, and what it is, and where I feel it, and when I feel it, and to start really recognizing it and calling it forward more, because it does change everything around you. It's not fleeting like some emotions and feelings are. It's something that really settles within you. So, through COVID, and with the holidays coming up, something that's really been on my mind is simplifying life, and especially our holidays coming up. We're Christian Catholics, so we celebrate Christmas. And I was trying to think of ways where I could feel joy in my heart and also teach my three teenagers how to be more thoughtful of the world around us. And one of the things that we do through our church is we adopt families for Christmas, or we adopt children in Appalachia. And what that means is we are kind of the source of their gifts and their food for Christmas and Christmas Eve. And we go, they give us a short shopping list, and we go and we pick up the things that are on their wish list. And for food, because it's hard to transport, we usually give gift cards to grocery stores. So this weekend, our gifts were due, and we actually found out about our family late last week. And so part of it was that I had to have a conversation with the kids. And I have a daughter who's going to be 18, and I have twin boys who are going to be 17. And we always are very fortunate to have a really good Christmas. And I wanted participation from the whole family. And I asked them, I talked to them about our family. We only know first names and ages. And I said, would you be willing to give up some of your gifts for Christmas so we can use those funds to get really great things for this family? And each one of my kids on an individual basis said, yeah, no problem. And each time they did, I clutched my chest and I cried, because there's nothing better than knowing that your kids are understanding of the world's plight and everything that everybody's going through. And I was just really grateful for their generosity, and it helped me enjoy wrapping the gifts and getting it ready and delivered to the family, knowing that it was a full family effort and we were going to bring joy, literally, to someone's Christmas who is living in a long-term hotel. And it made my Christmas. So we're simplifying Christmas, with all of us, and I'm really, really happy about that. For those two experiences, the one word is altruism. I would put it in a heart-shaped container, and to me, altruism is when we selflessly do other things for other people without expecting anything in return. If CEOs practice altruistic activities more throughout each year, they would absolutely be able to set aside their own needs for the benefit of other people. And when we do that, we experience this profound, inner, very deep rooted, joyful feeling that is more soulful than surface. And it propels us to work harder, to bring joy and share it with other people. And then we're able to enjoy our life more. We're able to enjoy our business. We're enabled to increase our creativity and innovative thinking and planning for our business. So, in essence, the rule is that when we give to others, we get back in return. When you're truly altruistic and you're truly searching for joy and giving joy, you don't need to expect anything in return, because by the sheer power of giving, we receive so much more when we give generously and genuinely. It needs to happen now, because there are so many people suffering in so many different ways. Churches, food pantries have lines around the corner. Um, uh, the food pantries are out of food. People are suffering. They have no food. They're losing their homes, their jobs, and everything. So it's really our responsibility as civilians of the world and human beings, is for those of us who can give to others and do altruistic events, or give gifts, or help other people, and we in turn experience joy. We're able to bring them joy, because they are not in the frame of mind or have the ability to find it themselves. So we have to share it. It's so detrimental to human nature and human beings, and full satisfaction and love around the world. I do. I have a chair of joy at home. When I converted my office into a video recording studio for virtual presenting, one of my things was I wanted a purple chair. So I have a purple wall, a teal wall, and then I have a purple recliner chair that I sit in to read, or I sit in to write notes, or just creatively think about the work I'm doing. If people would sit in their chair of joy several times a day, or a few times a day, or as often as possible, and tap into the memories that they have when they were purely feeling joy, um, it would help them reset their mind for the day. It would bring more joyful moments, and also the positive energy you need to continue your job all day, or continue being with family all day. I mean, it does give you a certain energy buzz, maybe, or motivation to be, moving in the direction of having a joyful day. So, as a mental health speaker and ghostwriter, one of the things I have is a vlog called Mental Health Check with Cindy T, where I share tips and um, opportunities or tools, or uh, activities that people can do to get themselves into more of a mental wellness space in their day, or in the moment, or get out of that dark moment. And what I would love to do is talk to them about the share of joy, and explain to them, take a deep breath, exhale, and then think of a joyful moment that you recently had, or had in your past, that really brought you true joy. And just meditate on that. Think about that. And remember that feeling. And the darkness, or the moment of anxiety or sadness, depression, anger will dissipate, because when you open your eyes, you'll be able to smile and remember that, and then step into a better situation of attitude, behavior, and emotion.
You described that way better than I ever did.
Oh,
that
thank
was great.
you.
If you could have more joy in your life, what would that look like?
Oh.
Because joy is ever expansive. That's the words I want. Because joy
Mhm.
can expand. It's never a destination. So for you, if you could have more joy, because I know you're already joyful, what would that look like?
If I could have more joy in my life, I would definitely be less stressed, because I would be preparing and focusing on a positive behavior, a positive feeling, than what I'm doing wrong, or that I'm going to be late, or I forgot to do something, or I didn't get something done. And if I could focus more on the joy, that would allow me to think more about what I have done, that I will get there, that things will get done, and I can only do as much as I can as one human being. Learning and having joy come up in our conversations and learning from you, Sherilyn, about joy really has helped me figure out like how to recognize the positive things I do during the course of the day and really start celebrating joy. And I've never celebrated myself and my accomplishments on a day basis, annual basis, or anything. And since I've been focusing on joy, I realize that we need more of that in our lives to continue the work that we do and to enjoy life and really celebrate what we do, because we don't recognize ourselves. We don't acknowledge the things we do. The big things, the little things, the things in between. So many of us don't celebrate appropriately for what we probably deserve celebrating. I do think joy is the answer. It has never been on the top of my mind as that, but as I've been thinking about you and your work and participating today and preparing for today too, and really thinking about how I feel about joy and what joy is, I realize that it is a very important part of my day, and it should be a very, very important part of my life. And it should be one of those constant things we do day in and day out more than once a day to keep us on the right path. Hi, I'm Cindy Tschosik, and I'm here to welcome you to Cheryl Lynn's Chair of Joy. It's absolutely beautiful and stunning, and it's almost overwhelming and breathtaking for sure. When I first saw it, I was stunned at how gorgeous it is. And what's nice is that it's a welcoming place. It's easy to settle into this chair, and it lifts your spirits up because you know that it's something really, really special. And coming to get interviewed in this chair of joy isn't overwhelming at all. Cheryl Lynn makes it completely easy and very comfortable to talk with her about your thoughts on joy. It took me a little bit this week to really think about what joy means to me and where I have it in my life. But once I started thinking about it, it just kept rolling. And I was able to define what joy means to me and the importance of it in my life. And so it's so important for you to come, step in, and sit down on this beautiful chair of joy, make yourself comfortable, and come and share with the world what you believe joy is going to do for the world.